Guitar Gurus. You want to go on the air?
Hey, Dan. Yeah, I love on the air.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, we're here. I'm at my studio. I got my co-host, Dan Albin, with me. Dan Albin, say hi.
Keith, good evening to you. How are you, sir?
I'm spectacular, Dan Albin. How are you?
Great, man. Great. We're happy as clams to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's very exciting for a Tuesday night for me, or whatever night, Friday night, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Right.
For a Tuesday. This is our enjoyment on Tuesdays. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
It really makes the work week go by. I will say that. It's really fun. It's really fun. So it's good to have you on the show finally. I'm sorry it took a while to get you on. That's my fault. But we're glad to have you on in this position because NAMM was last week. You're out in California doing your thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I think this is the perfect time to have you on the first time. So,
Cool. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. And I tell you what, after, let's see, well, you've been out to NAMM. It takes
Right.
a full day of travel to get out there. And then you're on your feet for, I think I was there 3 full days of the show this year. From open to close, and so I'm happy to be home and happy to be just kind of chilling out at my house and talking to you guys. So
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool, man. It's really cool that you're willing to come on this quick after getting back. So that's what's really cool.
well, I had to sleep all day yesterday to get ready for it, so I wouldn't have been good yesterday, but today I'm 100% good and rested up.
Awesome. Well, me and Danny want to say thank you for doing the Guitar of the Week segment. We really,
totally.
We really appreciate you letting us do that. And we're really doing we're trying to do the best job we can promoting your store and doing that with us, man. It's just huge, and we can't say thank you enough. So thanks, man.
Oh no,
That's cool.
to me it's a cool thing, and I never, don't ever think that you're, not promoting us enough or something like that. It's not really about that so much for me. I like being part of it, and I think it's cool, and we have a lot of cool guitars that maybe get lost in the shuffle because maybe we have too many or something, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but no, anytime you can highlight a cool instrument like that, and you seem to enjoy playing them, and it kind of gets them out there in front of people, so I think it's totally awesome.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I do love playing them. You know me, man. I'm a guitar junkie, man. I live for it.
I feel like you're like me, and every week you want a new guitar or a new amp or a new pedal or something. I feel like maybe we both have the same problem.
Oh, we do, man. We do, dude. We do, man. And it's a good problem to have. Like I say, we could be doing a lot worse things with it, with other things.
That's right.
So it's a good problem to have. So, I always say on our first interview, I like to give the listeners a little brief history of the guests on the phone. So,
Okay.
give us that the typical Reader's Digest version of your music history.
Oh
Tell-
man.
Tell me how you learned to play guitar. What did you do?
Yeah, well, let's see. I started playing guitar when I was 7 years old, and during that time was kind of the heyday of the 80s shredder and, that kind of stuff. So when I was 7 years old, I saw Eddie Van Halen on TV, and I was always around music and appreciated it and whatever. But I saw Eddie Van Halen on TV play, and it was, I think, Jump, and just the guitar solo. And man, I'm hooked from that. So I from that moment on, I think that Christmas I got an electric guitar, and I was hooked, and that's all I've ever really done since is play guitar. And I've been really lucky that for the last, probably 20 some years, I've made my complete living being around the guitar. So
Wow.
it's
cool.
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
That
that's
is awesome.
fortunate beyond anything you could dream of.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I always say, and this is no offense to anybody who does any kind of professional job or professional service or as an accountant or anything, but I always say it's better than having a real job. if you can laugh about that. Like some people go to work and they just do what they do to get a paycheck, and they dread going to work. I wake up every day and I love to go to work. I wish I could go to work 8 days a week. And I love the guitar. I love the customers. I love hearing about your bands, and that's just what I love. And I'm really lucky to be able to do that all these years, and for people to dig, what I do. So
good for you, man.
Yeah, that's
good for you.
cool.
You haven't worked a day in your life.
Well, I don't know. Some days.
Right.
Nah, but it's a great thing. And so I got into guitar 7 years old, and did everything, what a kid would do. And at that time was much different learning guitar than what it's like today. I lived here in La Plata, and there wasn't a whole lot around, and you lived for your weekly guitar lesson, which back in the day, and I'm not, some people would think of this as kind of weird because at one point in time these folks were my competitors, but back in the day I took lessons from a guy named Todd Rose at Hot Licks, and then I graduated on to Mike Stacy, who I think still teaches guitar today, and those guys kind of got me going and got me the basics, and somewhere in the early, or let's say the late 90s, I got my first music store job at a place called Roland Music, if you guys remember that from being around.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
we all spent money there back in the day.
Dude, I'm getting those flashback memories, and I remember you there whenever I would. It's crazy now that I put it all back together, because my buddy John Osborne worked there for a while, I thought. I could be wrong.
I recognize that name, and I think I've maybe seen him. Somebody sent me not too long ago a picture of an old Roland Music receipt, and I posted it on my Facebook, and a lot of people commented and stuff, and that name sounds familiar, so maybe he was one of the guys. But yes, I think about maybe 1998, around there, I got my first kind of music job there, and I took lessons there with a guy named John Butler, who was really a great player, but he was kind of more into classical or jazz, so he kind of pushed me in that realm. So I kind of got interested in playing classical guitar, and I always thought, well, if I learn this classical stuff, if I just turn on the distortion, it'll sound like Yngwie, and that's cooler than jazz, to me anyhow.
You're right about that.
So I worked there until about 2001, and that store decided to close about that time, and I had been working really hard on my classical stuff and in my music theory and sight reading and kind of the stuff that isn't really the fun rocking stuff. But I've been working really hard, and my goal was to get into Towson and do the classical guitar track. So about that time, I moved up to Baltimore and got into music school there. So I did classical guitar performance, which is pretty hard, and business is kind of a second, so it's like a double major kind of thing. And I paid all my own way, and got student loans and a little grant to get books and all that kind of stuff. And I got a little apartment, and I still wanted to be involved in music and music retail. I just loved it. And so I found a store in Baltimore, Bill's Music, if you guys are familiar with that.
I remember that, yeah.
That's a pretty big store, kind of on the outside of the city. And I got a job there, and started teaching guitar there, and also working on the floor. And I stayed there till, I guess, about 2007. And I decided I wanted to move back to Southern Maryland, and got settled back here. And I had the only 9-to-5 job that I've ever had in my life, and I had to wear a tie, and I hated it. And I got into the real estate business, and I was good at it, but I hated it, and just kind of wanted to be back at a music store. And so I decided to open up Island Music.
Oh, well, cool. Well, damn, that leads right into the next question.
Wow. That's a lot of information.
Wow, I mean, dude, you seriously, that's a lot of years is doing nothing but guitar, music, and everything. That's so cool to hear someone doing that. That is really cool.
It's you look back and it was like yesterday, but some of that stuff, man, that was 20 years ago.
Right.
Oh, trust me, man. My daughter is 20 years old, and so I get it, dude. I so get it.
Yeah, sometimes I think, you know what? I've been talking about the same thing for 20 years. Like, you're selling like a Shure SM58 or something like that.
Right.
And it's always been $99, like as far back as I can remember. And you're always saying the same things, or like Ernie Ball Super Slinkies, that's always in the pink pack. And it's been 20 years of doing that.
Yeah, just iconic products that just stand the test of time. That's what it's all about in this industry.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, that standard Strat, I can't even tell you how many times I've talked about a standard Strat in my life.
But we love it. We'll do it 20 more times.
Oh, yeah. I hope I got another 20 years in me of talking about them.
Right, man. Exactly, dude. I mean, so did you decide on La Plata? Was that La Plata was your first choice to open a shop, or what was your plans? Where were you going to open up shop? What was that kind of process? Because I'm a geeked out kind of business dude. I like to hear that kind of stuff.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know what I had in mind. I knew that I was kind of miserable doing the real estate thing, and at that time, my wife Nikki and I lived in an apartment in Solomon's, and I was just kind of, as I was going around traveling the country doing real estate stuff, I would hunt out all the guitar shops and stuff in the area. So if I went into Ohio, before the plane even touched down, I'd have it pinpointed where all the music stores were. And so on my trips, I'd map out the music stores, and I'd go in and I'd scope them out, and I'd buy stuff, and like things that I saw that maybe were worth a little bit more than what somebody in Cleveland, Ohio maybe thought that they were worth. And so I'd buy all this stuff, and I'd bring it back with me. And I was just really selling stuff online on eBay, and we'd started our own website then. And that's all I kind of wanted to do, was just, have some guitars for a while, sell them, and buy some more, or whatever. And at one point in time, we had a guest bedroom, and it just filled up with guitars. I mean, a lot of guitars and cases, and just, I found a Fender Rhodes somewhere in like Kentucky one time and brought it back with me. And so it's kind of like, man, I got all the pieces kind of just fell into place. And originally I wanted to be in Solomon's because I love the water, and I don't know, it's just kind of a cool area. But the problem with Solomon's is everybody leaves 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
There's nobody there there's nobody there. Like right now, there's very few people there, the bars aren't happening, people aren't out on the water, whatever,
It's construction season on the island right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm down there
spring,
twice a
and then
week.
they'll all come back.
Yep, I'm down there twice a week.
And so, I don't know, La Plata, because I grew up there, was, kind of the most logical place. And I just happened to think I was at, on one half of our store used to be a coffee shop.
Oh, wow.
And the part where the stage is and everything, there's a place called the Brew House. And the stage was in there and everything, and people played in there, and it was just a cool little coffee house. So I just happened to stop by there one day in, let's say, August or something of 2008, and I was just kind of thinking, what am I going to do? And I thought it would be really cool if I could have this place, but it was way too big, and I didn't have any money, and all the normal problems.
Right.
And I just happened to walk up and down the street a little bit, just kind of thinking what I could do, and we had found a little spot at 600 Charles Street. I don't know, did either of you guys ever come to the first store?
Well, it's crazy that time frame when you opened up that store, me and my brothers just came off a big band thing that we had going on, and we all decided to take a couple years break from one another. So I kind of like punted on music for a while.
Okay.
And I literally didn't get back into it until we kind of met up again. When we met is when you saw me getting back into playing like seriously from taking some years breaks. So I kind of missed the first like 6 years of what y'all were doing. That's why when I first came to your store that day, I was like, oh my God, where did this come from? I've been asleep. I literally I just punted on music. I needed a break. We were grinding it out for a minute, and we just had a bad band separation. That's a whole show in itself right there. But
yeah,
so
sometimes it's nice to step away a little bit, and it helps you love it more when you come back.
Right. So I step away, come back, married, and it's like, whoa, new world.
Yeah, I remember meeting you. We were in a spot, I think, where we are now. So yeah, you missed it. So the very first store was, it was literally a 10 by 12 room.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it was small. It was tough times. And
right.
It was small, and most of those guitars were things that I'd kind of bought, along my trips, and were my personal collection kind of thing. And the place kind of felt like home and a good place to start.
Okay, that's cool. That's real cool. Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal to hear that and to see what the store is now. You got all these relationships with all these different manufacturers. So do you ever reflect back and think, wow, man, look what I built, because that's what you did, man. You built a brand, you built a business.
Yeah, I'm always, so how I operate is, and in some ways it sounds bad when I say it like this, but nothing's ever good enough for me. Like I'm never, I always want, I can do this better. We can do more. We should have done this. We should have done that. And, while it's nice to think like, wow, we've done something cool. So I'm always looking forward to the next thing and the next challenge and stuff. Like, I always want to constantly improve and be better and do something different. So I sometimes maybe I should. Now that it's been 10 years, we're probably pretty solid. I don't think we're going anywhere, and people dig what we do. But I never stop and say, man, we really did something here. And maybe sometimes I should, but it's just not how my mind works, really.
Well, you gotta have a little self-appreciation.
Totally. I'm so proud of some of the things that we've done over the years, Rocktoberfest, and all the people that have gotten into music because we're here. They came in and were inspired by the store. We've had a lot of people meet in the store and gone on to become bands or music teachers or whatever. I love all that stuff. I'm real proud of that, and I'm real proud of everything that our staff has accomplished, and we've had so many awesome things happen, and so much positivity. It's awesome.
Well, dude, when I met you in that store that day, when you inspired me to want to get in music retail.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I tried everything I could. I have to get in music retail. I have to get in music retail. I have to be a part of this. I said has to happen, and how the journey is, all that past stuff is what it is. But it's just cool that everything worked out the way it was, and we got this going on with this, and everything's cool, man. So it's really awesome.
Oh yeah, really totally. Awesome. I mean, I was always kind of when you got into music retail, I was always kind of like, why didn't he come with me?
I asked you. I asked him.
This is getting awkward, guys.
No, hold on. I asked him that day. I just didn't come back and ask again. That's my fault. That's my fault. But it's all good. It's all good. I tried to make it cool. I wasn't trying to be mean at all anywhere. I was just always the peacemaker. And Aaron will tell you that, right?
Nah,
Aaron,
you did a good job, man. I I watched the energy and the life that you brought to that store, and it was cool, man. I mean, you did. I think I told you this before. Is I never really see any other local music stores as competitors per se. I think there's room for everybody if you're doing a good job and you're inspiring people to play music and to be part of music. I think the biggest competitors music stores have these days is outside hobbies. People only have so much disposable income, and if you're into video games or skateboarding or computers or something else, that's money that you're not spending in the music industry, and it's also time that you're not spending in the music industry. So I think there's certainly room for more than one store in Charles County. I've always felt that way.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And if I could just touch on something real quick, if I can jump into this interview for a moment.
See, I talk too much. Sorry.
No, I listen too much, which is good. That's what we're supposed to do. You talk, I listen. I sit here and do nothing. It's perfect. So I want to say that I think a lot of it has to do with you have a genuine respect and appreciation for the community, and
totally.
That's what I want to point out on this show is your dedication to the community, that you really believe in it and you put a lot of yourself into it, and for that I respect that. And
thank you.
I want that to be something that I want to tell you. I want to tell you that.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. And I always said that I wanted to, when we opened Island Music, I always wanted to be part of something. I have a weird personality where I like to be everybody's friend, and if I can ever help anybody do anything, I'm always all ears. And so when we opened Island Music and people started to dig what we were doing, I kind of thought of, well, how can we help people and be part of something and make people kind of believe in us and say, well, this is my store, and I want to be here because of this. I mean, we used to do those canned food drives where we'd restring your guitar for free, and I'd find some cool thing to give away to the person that brought the most weight and food and all that. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but
yeah,
we did that, started doing that early on, right before the Thanksgiving holiday, and we'd kind of fill up the local food banks and stuff. And that was really an awesome thing. So I feel like if I can use my voice or my platform, my talent or whatever to help somebody or to make the community better, I want to do that. I don't think that in today's world, as an independent retailer or independent family-owned business, your job is not always to take. You can't. It's like against the laws of the universe. You can't always take and take and take. You have to give a lot too. And I mean that's what separates you from some guy going to Target and buying his guitar strings. And I'm not picking on Target or any of that kind of stuff. I hope that in people's eyes and in the community's eyes, that makes a difference, because we put an awful lot of work into some of these things, and that we don't. You don't do it for financial gain or because you think you're going to get something out of it. If you do something and you create something and you can help somebody, it's awesome. And the karma has a way of working it all out.
That's absolutely correct. You couldn't have said that any better. That's exactly what it's about. People, you can buy the same thing down the street somewhere else or online.
Totally.
You're not selling this thing different than that guy, but what you're selling is buying local, the personal experience, the coming in and having the customer service. That's what you're selling. You're selling the customer service, the sense of community. Come by, come to the shop.
Let's meet. Be a part of something.
Let's talk face to face.
You're selling everybody's expertise. I mean, a sales guy's expertise, or Dave. Dave sets up any guitar that you buy from us. He sets it up for free for you. Dave is phenomenal at what he does.
He is a part of this show. Yeah,
he's the official guitar tech.
Yeah, we've had him on already. What took you so long?
So, are you thoroughly enjoying the show, man? Is it cool to have something
Oh
like
yeah,
this?
it's totally cool. I think anytime. So I love this kind of stuff. I could talk about guitars and 90s music. Like I love hearing you guys go through some of the music. When you did the live episode,
Yeah, that was good.
yeah, I love it, man. And Pearl Jam and you know, so all that stuff I love. I graduated maybe only a couple years ago from the 80s into
Right.
the 90s. I haven't made it any farther. But you know, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
We're right on board with you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes me. So I'm always like 10 years behind, maybe even a little bit more in like what the cool music is. I was on the way home from the airport the other night. And I turned on the radio and I put on DC 101. And guys, I don't know hell it was. I had to check twice to make sure I had the right station. There was no guitar. The drums were like, you know, just like somebody put on a drum machine and walked away. It was terrible.
That sucks.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
That's why I've been saying this a while. The conventional song listening radio is dead.
Oh, totally.
This is the format of the future, I believe. It's called Music Talk Radio. We jam in the background and have people on talking about music. And that's just
Yeah.
so much more fun than just tuning into a dial and listening to a random song you don't know about. And it's just like, is someone going to say something?
Yeah, or you listen to, you know, whatever station during the day, they've got rock music on, but it's always the same stuff, you know?
The
Like,
six
some of
song
these bands-
rotation.
Like, Live is a great band, but the only song you ever hear is Lightning Crashes.
Yeah, exactly. Drives
In
me
a catalog,
crazy.
they probably have 100 songs, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And
There's
that's all you ever hear.
no one ever goes for the deep cuts.
They don't.
Yeah, or
about that.
Collective Soul. I mean, all you ever hear is Shine. You know how many good songs that band has?
Right. And that's
It's mind numbing to think of how many when you sit down and list them all and look at all the CDs and stuff and listen to them, and you might not know the names, but you heard it on this movie or that movie, you know. And all you ever hear is the same stuff.
yeah, and I've always felt like I was like an ambassador for that kind of stuff because I never, you know, it's like, oh, I love that band, that song's great. It's like, if you like that band, listen to this.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
band, you need to dig further. There are
So
a lot.
that's where
yeah,
the old mixtapes were cool.
yeah,
You know, like if you made mixtapes. So anytime I ever liked a girl, I would always make her a mixtape, you know, and it was a lot of weird shit on there. Am I allowed to cuss on here?
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, man. Just, you know, like we say, you can do anything but talk about murdering fools.
yeah, Keith. I'm
Well, I
gonna
don't
need.
really
I'm
do
gonna
that,
need you
but,
to. You're gonna need to
every
watch
once
your
in a while, I
language
might
on this
mess
show.
up and
Yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah, we'll bleep it out
But,
later.
all right, yeah. So you know, you'd always make this mixtape, and you put all these cool things what you thought were cool on there. Most people didn't know what the hell they were because they were the deep cuts. But I used to love doing that.
Right. I get you, man. Yeah, that's time before CD players. Mixtapes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how we had to do it back then.
Yeah.
We're showing our age now.
Yeah. If you ran out of recordable cassettes, you had to take like one of your parents' like good cassettes and put tape over the holes.
Yeah, record right on top of it. Yep. I loved it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking my mom's Tina Turner tape and doing that to some Metallica. She was
Well, that was probably for the better.
yeah.
Yeah, that
But
was an
it was-
improvement.
you should have just seen the look on her face. She ejected the tape, looked at it, read it, put it back in.
Here's Metallica, kill them all.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember which
Much
one.
better than rolling down the river.
Right, it was so awesome. I just remember that's like one of those early childhood memories that you just remember like a scene, but you don't remember it.
Yeah.
You know, this is real cool. Hey, so, let's get into NAMM real quick, man. I saw the pictures. What's your take, man? Try to fill us in on what happened out there.
Well, so I counted earlier on, and I think this is like maybe my 17th Winter NAMM show. So I've been going a long time. And so what I do, and some people in our industry think this is crazy and kind of like I'm kind of a pain a little bit, but I'm always trying to think of new things to do and like different things and how we can take away something from it, and you know, not just see products, but take away ideas and cool things that we could kind of bring back to our town. So this year, our big focus is we're going to have all these events all the time, probably almost weekly, different things for different departments, not humongous events, but, kind of cool little things like Ernie Ball's coming one day and they're just going to restring anybody who comes in's guitar with those new unbreakable strings or whatever, just cool things like that. So my whole trip was focused on kind of getting people to buy into these events and creating these ideas.
Cool. That's real cool.
Yeah, and you know what? It makes it better than a normal Wednesday night, and if it gives somebody exposure to something new, and they dig, hopefully they'll buy it from us, and but we'll see some business there. But it's more to create again a sense of place, and something for people that are into music to do and meet other people and stuff. And so my trip was mainly focused on that. And then kind of our other thing that we're really trying to get into is I've always liked to kind of push the envelope a little bit in terms of selling kind of like higher end product. And kind of people probably think that we do a pretty good job at it now. I mean, I don't know where else you could go locally that has 80 American PRS guitars in the store, but
nowhere.
I'm trying to kind of branch out and do some kind of more boutique, kind of harder to find stuff and bring it here locally, so our customers can get their hands on it and see it. And we just started doing Sir guitars, which are really beautiful instruments. I mean, they've got the fretwork on these new Sir Strats that we just got is amazing. They feel so good. And Nags Guitar is another one that we're bringing in. That's a local Maryland company. And Joe was working in the Paul Reed Smith private stock shop for a long time and kind of branched out and started doing his own thing. So we're bringing in stuff like that and kind of getting more into boutique pedals. We've just really kind of started kind of knuckling down on Strymon, and I think right now our goal is to have every Strymon pedal that they make, right here in the store, and they're nice in terms of quality and clean reverbs and delays and stuff. They're really good.
Okay, that's real.
Wow.
Yeah, so just kind of trying to branch out a little bit, do something different, maybe kind of get a little bit more into a market that we're might only be 50% in. We want to be all the way in, kind of thing. So we're doing that. We're kind of trying to get more into not good in terms of technology, really. On a computer, I can check my email and surf the internet. That's about it. So we're trying to kind of get more into the recording side. So you're going to start seeing some kind of higher end interfaces, some higher end preamps and stuff like that. Microphones, just really kind of trying to push the more higher end boutique stuff and kind of get into that. We're not going to stop all the other stuff that we do, but we're just kind of adding to what we do.
Right.
Yeah, that's smart. That's real smart.
Why
add on small at a little at a time, so it's not overwhelming at once. Because I know the dynamics of bringing brands into the store. I mean, customers just think it's as easy as just saying to do it. There's a lot of moving parts that go into it. So
totally. And not every brand fits how we do things. If that makes any sense to you, like some people. We do things a little bit different and to be kind of accessible. Like there's no guitars that you can't touch in island music. There's no things that say do not touch. There's a $5,000 guitar right in arm's length next to a $300 guitar, and there's no special rooms you got to go in or get some salesperson to take you or anything like that. And some higher end brands kind of kick back about that a little bit. They want their stuff behind glass. They don't want you to put it on the internet that you have it. They don't want, they want, more branding in your store. Some acoustic guitar brands, really want their own room in your store, stuff like that. But so not everybody always fits into how we do things, or sometimes it takes a little negotiating to get them there, because I never want to change how we are, really, No. And the day that, you can't touch something in my store or something's behind glass is never coming. Because that's not how I operate. turns me off when I go into some place, and I would never want to. I wouldn't do it to anybody else.
Right.
No, trust me. I get it, man. Trust me. I get
Yeah.
it. And everybody around here thanks you for it.
Yeah, I mean, why can't you just go pick up something? I mean, nobody goes into a store and says, hey, you know what, I'm going to go in there and hurt this guitar. Nobody does that. Why would you ever want to do something like that? You know what I mean? Everybody's there because they dig music and dig guitars and want to be comfortable. So
yeah. It's a respect thing. If you're going in there and you're grabbing something, you're gonna be respectful because
totally.
Yeah. You break it, you buy it, and you don't want to be in that situation.
I mean, I tell you what, there in 10 years that we've been open, I can't think of any time that somebody's really tried to hurt anything that we have or do something disrespectful.
See? That's great.
I don't think people that come to our store are like that. I think people are there because they genuinely dig what we do, and they don't want to.
Yep.
Who wants to hurt a guitar?
Yeah, exactly. You got a good business model. You got a good thing going, and every musician, and I don't know. I speak for myself really. But I think a lot of people would agree. We all want to feel like we've got a home base, like a place we can go where we feel comfortable. And,
well, good, man.
and people are gonna recognize you and say, "Hey, how you been? What are you looking for? What you up to? What you doing?" That's how I feel. That's how I feel when I walk in there, and I love having a home base.
That's how we try to work, and it's really funny. Some people, so I remember everything, right? So if a guy walks in and I haven't seen him in like 3 years, I'll be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? How'd that Fender Twin work out?" And he's looking at me like, "What the hell's wrong with? How do you remember I bought a Twin 3 years ago or something like that?" That's just what I do. So we try to instill that on everybody in the store.
Right. That's awesome.
You got some really good dudes there, man, and some good gals.
Yeah, we're real lucky.
It's a good staff, man. It's good business model, great staff, great atmosphere. I love going in there.
Right. Well, thank you. We love seeing you there.
Oh yeah, man. I was just thinking about this the other day, man. What better place to go and get stuff for our show is the store there. Everything.
Well, that's awesome. We certainly love being a part of it, and it's cool to kind of be involved with everybody. And sometimes because of how I am, and some days when I have a good day or something, you go home and you feel like you have a million friends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I feel like some of these people have been coming in there since day one, and I don't think of them as customers. They're friends. I mean, people. I see them out somewhere, or they call me if they need something, or whatever. And I'm always there to talk and shoot the breeze, and what's going on in your life, this awesome thing, or this not so awesome thing. I'm always there to listen, and kind of be a friend. So some days I leave there and I feel like I have a million friends.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So if you don't feel like we're customers, you feel like we're friends, can I get friend pricing when I come in?
You slide dog, Danny Alden.
You know me, man. Hey, it's funny because I went in there right before Christmas, and I bought a set of bongos for my wife for Christmas because she's been complaining we didn't have any at home. I know, right? The first guy to ever say my wife complained we didn't have any bongos in the house. So I bought them, right, and then she turns around and buys an amp for me from there for Christmas. I had no idea. So, yeah, we spent all our Christmas money in your store, by the way.
Well, thank you. And it was probably an awesome Christmas, right? It's probably better than like socks and a tie or something, right?
Yeah,
a lot better. I'll wear last year's socks. I'm going to play this year's amp.
Yeah, there you go.
Lord. Yeah, I've been cranking. You know me, man. I think you got 5 or 6 or 8 of my guitars on my wall came from your store.
Yeah, I can remember a lot of them over the years. Yeah, totally.
Hey, I'm like you, dude. I'm a tricker and a trader, man. I'm a Craigslist hound.
Wow.
Dude, I had it bad.
Is that a Steve Miller song?
Dude, I'd like you, man. You said you would go across country collecting stuff from different places. I would just watch Craigslist and just see what kind of deals I could work out, get a guitar, trade it for another one, and just to see where it goes.
I'm not a computer guy that good, so I never thought to do that. And now I have plenty of guitars, so maybe I ought to try putting them on there and selling some of them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you always sell guitar online, especially used. That market's
Oh, yeah.
that market's huge. It's just insane what that market's become.
Yeah, I mean, that's, so some days we buy more than we sell because, I don't think there's really any place else around that will just buy your stuff from you. And, some days I feel like that's all I do is buy things.
Yeah, there's that. That's the tricky part.
Those are those days in business, man, where you just got to know the big picture.
Yep.
Big picture.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You
God,
see
it
it
gets-
go, okay, all right, I can do this.
Well, dude, you've been a champ, man, and it's already been 40-some minutes with you. Well, let's just get to the you got time, man? I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, I got all the time in the world. I can talk forever. So if you feel like I'm taking up too much time or whatever, you got another guest coming, you tell me to shut up and say what I need to say, and I'll get on down the road.
We padded a lot of time in for this show for you because we wanted to make sure that you had as much time as you wanted to have.
Right.
Oh man, yeah, I'm totally fine. Whatever you guys need to ask me, I can answer, and whatever you need.
But see, I always told Danny, I was like, well, dude, since you're doing the Guitar of the Week segment, it's kind of like Wayne's World over here. We're Wayne and Garth, and you're Noah of Noah's Arcade. So, so you're sponsoring the show, so it's all cool, man. It's real cool.
Yeah, we needed as much time for our sponsors as we possibly can give.
We like having them on.
Whatever you guys need is fine. I'm happy to help, and I'll still think of other cool things for us to do together. But that was just the first thing that came to my mind, kind of. So.
Oh, cool.
Well, I think our trial run is working out really well. So yeah, I like that. And
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I think this week we'll drop a little nugget to the audience. I think this week we're gonna have to do a Les Paul, man. Let's do one of those. Let's do one of those really cool ones, like one of those historic ones, man.
oh my god,
What do you think about that?
I'll see what I got. We can dig up. I'm sure we got something cool.
Yeah, man, because I love that series, man. From when my time was there, when it first came out, those true historic series. It's like when you read the literature on them, it's like a time capsule, man. They did everything possible to make it like it was.
Oh yeah, like we got this telly in the store too. Not to switch away from what you're talking about. But we got this telly in the store that is a 51 reissue heavy relic,
All right.
and from the custom shop. And man, is it cool!
Oh yeah. So tell me about it. What's up?
It's awesome, man. I mean, it looks like it's got 100 years of road on it. It's all worn. The fingerboard's all worn. The lacquer's checked, and so that was I guess at first it was. I'm never good about history stuff, so if I'm wrong, just tell me. But if I think the first Fender Telly was a single pickup, the Esquire.
Right.
And then they had the Broadcaster was the first one with both pickups, I think.
Right.
But at the time, Gretsch owned the name Broadcaster. So they took the name, they liked caster. So the television became real big in the 50s.
Okay.
So that was kind of the new buzzword. So they called it the Telecaster. So the guitar that we got, supposedly the first year of the two pickup Telecaster, but it looks like it's been played every day since then.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
And it's in the neck on it. People, sometimes a guy that looks at, nut width and neck profile and all that, I never care really. If you hand me a guitar, and it basically fits my style, yeah, I'll just go on stage and play it and never think again about the nut width or what the radius is and all that. But this neck is so big, it's literally like somebody took a baseball bat and sawed it in half. But it feels all right.
Wow, yeah, I'll have to check that out Friday.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool, man. I love all this. See, I could geek out with you all night just talking about different pieces that different companies released on different years. Like, I'll dig deep back to the early 2000s with the Schecters. When that Diamond series really started hitting big in the early 2000s. Remember those times?
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
See, the cool thing is a lot of these things, I've been there for a lot of the from when it was a small company to when it's kind of gotten to a big thing. I think this year is PRS's. Let's see here. So I think next year, or coming up, is going to be their 35th or their 40th anniversary. Well, I remember being at their 20th anniversary launch party, and it was a big deal then, and it was still a fairly small company. It hadn't had quite the growth and forward movement that it's had in the last 15 years or something like that. So I've been real lucky to see it. And Schecter, that's another one. I can remember Schecter being kind of at the bottom floor at the NAMM show, and they were really more focusing on kind of custom built USA guitars and kind of one-offs and necks and bodies and parts and stuff like that. And that company has become a humongous company.
Big. See, what I'm looking for, and if you ever find one, see what you can do to get me one. But it's early 2000s Schecter Diamond Series. The what's the Jerry Horton from Papa Roach?
Oh yeah, I remember.
I want the black one with the big roach on it.
All right.
If you can find me one of those, man, I would be all in. I'll make some deals with you. I got a wall behind me. Like, that's one.
I
That's
got a book that I write this. I'm old school, so I got like a composition book that I carry around with me, and I write this kind of stuff down. So one day, don't be surprised if in 18 months I'm calling you like, "Hey Dan, guess what I got?"
Hey, that's why I'm planting the seed now.
All right, seed planted.
That's real cool, man. That's so awesome. And about the notebook thing, in our show, I have the same composition book that I write down notes for the show in too.
Yeah, so I carried around, write down everything. You know, like there's my to-do list, my grocery list, what deal I'm making on Shure microphones, some song that I'm learning for a gig or something. I mean, all this weird stuff. If I ever lost it, somebody pick it up and be like, "Man, this guy's nuts."
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh out loud at that. That was great.
Those composition books are what's up, man, because the pages don't come out. It's locked in there. I love them.
And if there's doodles in there, I'll be really frightened. How many Van Halen logos did you draw in pen in this book?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
Okay,
yeah.
I figured that.
Yeah.
I was taking a wild guess.
I'm such a Van Halen fanatic. So at this last NAMM show, I got to meet Michael Anthony.
Oh, I saw the picture.
It was just kind of a weird coincidence, and this will tell you how big of a fan that I really am. So, let's see, it's Saturday night, and I'm done with the show, and I didn't want to, I had dinner reservations to go out, but I felt a little tired, and I just didn't want to do it, so Morgan was with me, and I said, well, let's go to downtown Disney, because there's always all kinds of nice restaurants in there. And so we went there, we put our name in one place, and they said 45 minutes, and that was, I get like weird if I don't eat in time. So I said, I can't wait that long. And so we went to the next place, and they said there might be some room at the bar. So I said, all right, let's go there. So I found 2 seats at the end of the bar. And we went, we sat down, and we ordered our food. And I was just kind of, eating my food and scanning around. And I just saw maybe a little portion of this guy's head and his arm. And I said, Morgan, I think that's Michael Anthony from Van Halen. And she's like, what? How do you know? And I'm like, well, I see his picture every day of my life.
Right.
Because you see it on Facebook. Here's an interview here or whatever. And there's probably not a day goes by that I don't see some kind of Van Halen thing, whether it's an album or an ad or some book that I'm working on or whatever. And she's like, no way, that's, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's definitely him. And so it took me a little bit, because I don't like to bother people. So it took me a little bit to work up the nerve. But I thought, you know what, this is going to be the only chance. Well, I've seen him around before, but never in a situation where I could just walk right up, easy. And so I finally got up the nerve and went over and, said hello to him. And there wasn't a whole lot of people there. And he was maybe with 3 friends or whatever. So he was kind of talking with them and talking with us and took pictures with his friend, took pictures with us. And he was the nicest guy. And, just the whole time he's just drinking out of a martini glass, and I'm drinking out of a Coors Light bottle, and it was an awesome time.
Yeah, you're classier than he is.
I'm not sure what was in that martini glass. It looked looked like maybe a martini, but man, it smelled like I don't know, like gasoline or something. So I think he's more of like a professional drinker, and I might just be like an amateur.
Yeah. Isn't it great to after all those years you run into him like that and you find out he's just as cool and down to earth as you hoped he would
totally
be?
Awesome, because there's nothing worse than meeting a guy and he doesn't turn out that way.
Yep.
The first time I ever met George Lynch, he was a total jerk. And I was just a kid, and not a kid, I was maybe 20 or something, but, you know, and he was always such a big, you know, influence, and it took me a long time to get over that. And now, you know, fast forward, and I've met him a lot of times since then, and he's redeemed himself to me. But, man, those couple years of, you know, feeling that way about somebody that was your idol or you looked up to, it was not cool.
How wild is that for you? You're sitting there telling me that when you met George Lynch the first time, he was a jerk. Then I look and I see you have him in your store all those years later. How wild is that?
He's a pretty nice guy, and you know, we've done some stuff together a couple times, and you know, everybody's got bad days, and you know, maybe he, I don't know, who knows what the scenario is, but you know, just so I always try to think about that and like remember that if you can kind of put on your happy face or whatever when you're meeting people and talking to people, it makes an impression, because as a fan, you know, growing up learning the Lynch Mob albums and you know, seeing him in the magazines and stuff, that stung a little bit for me. So
yeah, dude, our generation, man, we grew up with magazines. That was our connection to any kind of industry, was through magazines.
Oh, well, that's what you know what, when, a long time before I ran it on and on about something crazy, what I was going to say was, back in the day, you know, you lived for your guitar lessons, and the magazine, Guitar World magazine, or Guitar for the Practicing Musician, or whatever, that came in the mail, and you just hoped you learned some of the songs or liked them enough, you know, to learn something from them. And yeah, I mean, the magazines were a big. I still have every one of mine.
Oh wow!
Wow.
That's
cool, I got like every Guitar World since like probably 1988, 89, something like that, up until maybe 2004, when they started getting like, you know, it's not cool anymore, kind of.
Not cool anymore.
Yeah, it's like MTV, you know what I mean? Like it's not quite as cool.
No,
MTV is so irrelevant.
It's not music television. It hasn't been for a long time, but we all grew up on what it started out as. Influenced a lot of us.
Yeah, remember Headbangers Ball and Alternative Nation, 120 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
You know, even seeing like the VMAs. Dude, I remember, you know, old school VMAs. I think it was maybe 91, 92, maybe even 93. But Poison coming out there, total rock and roll. I mean, basically just fumbling through all their songs, and Van Halen out there playing Pound Cake with the drill and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
No.
Right.
No.
Did the Nirvana, when Nirvana came out, they did Lithium, and everybody stage diving and stuff off the stage.
Oh, yeah, and that's where he threw the bass up in the air and hit himself in the head.
Yeah, man, it was awesome.
Right.
Read that listening to the documentary years later, he got really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was total punk rock. Not even trying to be total punk rock. I mean...
That's crazy, man. What's your current band right now?
I don't do a whole lot anymore. I do an acoustic thing with Matt, who you guys probably know, works at the store with me. We have a group called Atlantic Light, and so we play maybe, I don't know, every month, every couple months, something like that. Just low key acoustic. We play kind of 80s, 90s, 2000s stuff like we are talking about, kind of acoustically. We actually got a gig this Friday night for anybody who's looking for something fun to do and wants to hear some old school acoustic rock and roll. We'll be Kautai in La Plata, so I do that. Every once in a while, Franklin Square was my big rock band. Every once in a while, we'll get together and do something if it kind of helps somebody or benefits something, you know, but big, and we can all kind of get our schedules in sync. Other than that, I don't do a whole lot of band stuff. Between the music store and I try to be pretty big family guy. I got a 7-year-old daughter, and I try to be, around doing a lot of stuff with her, and my wife. We have the house that we're a really crappy house, and so we're trying to fix it all up and restore it ourselves. So I'm always, doing some kind of crazy thing, whether it's, putting up trim or building a bathroom or building a wall or something like that.
Good
not a whole lot of band time left, and I'm real big into fitness too, so I'm always running some race, or I do boxing every Saturday morning, and I don't know, I just stay busy doing other stuff, and sometimes I miss the feeling of playing live in a loud rock band. You guys, there's no other feeling like it in the world, when you're standing up there and it's loud, you go home and your ears are ringing and stuff. It's totally cool.
It's great.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
Dude, when I got to play at Rocktoberfest in October, man, I got my kick of juice, and it was so good, man. God,
yeah, there's no other feeling like it in the world, and that's what I always try to tell people that are getting into music, and they, maybe they're shy, or they're worried they're not good enough or something like that, especially in rock music. Man, going out there with a loud, distorted amp behind you, and the sound of real drums is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, man. Me and Danny had a great time that day.
Yeah,
man.
that was a great day, man, playing
Yeah,
that
totally.
event.
And it's one of those things where it's like, man, that was awesome. That the anticipation and the adrenaline that you have from that is so cool. You look forward all this time, and maybe you're on stage for just a little bit of time, 30 minutes or something, but it's awesome.
Yeah, that 30 minutes feels like 10 seconds when you're doing it, because it's over so fast. And that's a beautiful, and that goes back to the whole thing of like the community thing. That event is so awesome for the community. It's
oh man, yeah. Every year my goal is to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So we've already started working on next year's event. So hopefully it'll be awesome. We'll have nice weather. Hopefully everybody comes out and supports it, and, digs it. And this year, man, it was so cool. This was the first year that and it took a lot of work and a lot of kind of fighting to get it done, but to be able to close a street in town and fill it up with rock people and beer and loud music was awesome.
So much talent that day.
Dude, it's just so awesome that you're willing to take the time to work with local governments to get it done.
Oh, dude, I've been, I think at one point in time, you guys sent me some questions, and one of the things said, what's the hardest process that I've been through? And one of the hardest things ever was when we first started, the local government that we had was so tough and kind of really had played a kind of beat down into the ground, and businesses couldn't promote themselves. There wasn't any kind of synergy or anything. And here we came along, and I so I'm the kind of guy that if you say that's wet paint, don't touch it, before you even finish saying that, my hand is already in it. and that's just how I am. And so we came along, and we just didn't know any better, and we were doing all these crazy things, having guitar clinics and stuff, and having bands outside our store and all that, and they hated that. They fought us on every little thing. So at one point in time, I decided, all right, well, you know what? We're going to change all this. And we kind of got behind a whole new government, like mayor and town council and everything. And I was like the guy, on the front lines, kind of waving the flag, and it worked, and they won. So now we have like normal people that I can call on their phone and say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Can you guys help me with this or whatever? And it's been totally awesome. It's night and day difference.
It's like they're applying the common sense approach, correct?
Yeah, totally. Why wouldn't you? So why wouldn't you want people walking around your town and playing music outside? And why wouldn't you want new businesses coming to town and things like Rocktoberfest?
Right.
I get it if it was like, if I was like keeping all the money or something like that. Well, we don't keep a dime. We donate it all back to the school system to make their music program better.
Yeah,
and
who
I
can
pay
argue with
for all
that?
the stuff, you know. It's not
Right.
asking them to pay for anything.
Dude, you are being the change you wanted to see. And
Oh, totally.
I've
You
always
have
said
to.
you have to be the change you want to see. And that really, there's a lot of us that get behind you and support that because it needed to happen. And I'm glad
Oh,
that
totally.
you're doing it. I really appreciate you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know what? If people didn't dig it and jump on board, I would have thought, well, maybe, you know, I'm in the wrong. Maybe I'm the only guy that feels this way or something like that. But to have a whole community, you know, all the other businesses kind of stand with you and stand behind you, big and small, and you know, people that really even had no skin in the game. You think the hospital needed to stand behind Island Music and and you know, support Rocktoberfest and you know, change it? No, they didn't. You know, they operate on their own, you know, world, and well, luckily we were able to have that happen. So
Yeah, very lucky. The local government needs to listen to the citizens of the community, and it's us. We're the thing that's going on, not them. They're there to do what's right. If the community wants something, make it happen.
yeah, totally.
Don't
the
fight it.
citizens are
Don't
the
drive.
customers, like in a business.
Don't drive the businesses away. I've always said that the potential there around where you're at with the store, it's a great walking town. It's got potential for a lot of good businesses. And
Oh, totally, man.
a
I hope
place
it continues to grow and we get
where
some cool stuff and, you know, more music related stuff would be awesome. I'd love to see, you know, some more venues and stuff. And, you know, we've toyed with the idea of adding, you know, rehearsal spaces behind us. And you know, yeah, I mean, I want to see a lot more stuff come.
Well,
Wow.
we need to make that happen.
Yeah, I got actually, well, we could talk in private, man, if you're really trying to do some rehearsal space stuff, because we could actually branch out and even make it kind of cooler.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Really
you know,
cool.
so all these things have to kind of, you know, spin off and thrive off of Island Music. If people are buying gear and they're playing in bands, the next logical thing is they need some place to practice.
That's true.
They need some place to play.
Right,
Yeah, they definitely need more places to play.
right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Actually, I'm definitely will in the next couple of days send you a message on that.
All right.
I got if you're willing to listen.
Yeah, anything we can do to help, you let us know, and we're there for you. And we'll
Oh, totally. Well, I appreciate that.
We'll you know, volunteer work. We'll do whatever. We don't care. We're there
All right.
because
Love it.
we believe in what you do and we support you in what you do.
Well, thank you guys. I certainly appreciate that.
You know, and next time you have Sponge and we open and they close, I want to meet them next time. That's,
Yeah, that was
you
pretty
know,
cool, huh? That was like a dream.
Oh, the fact you scored those guys, I was like, holy smoke. I saw them at the old 930 when they were hot in 95. I'm like, how weird is life? I saw them when I was like 20, and here I am at the same event they're going to be at when I'm like,
it's
400.
It's awesome.
It was great. You've done such a great job with that. It's amazing. So I can't wait to hear what you got on tap for this year. You know, we want to be a part of whatever you've got going on. We would love to be a part of it.
Yeah, you guys should maybe broadcast there or something that day and interview everybody.
What a great idea, Keith. That's an awesome. We hadn't even thought of that yet. We're glad you brought that up.
not to make too much work for you or anything, but yeah, it would be awesome. Yeah, whatever we do, you should definitely be there because, you know, I mean, I think in terms of local guitar players, you got so much talent there, and you know, local music fans, and you know, even whatever national acts that we get this year, it'd be awesome to add to your show.
We can interview
them
everyone.
Yes, they're coming in. Yeah. like we could set up like a green room process for these bands as they're getting ready to go on. Like, you know, like you direct traffic. Hey, you know, sit down, talk to, you know, it'd be like kind of like Radio Road for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right. Man, I got. I think we got our next meeting next week, so I'll pitch it.
Oh, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. If you need me to come in to do a demonstration or a pitch, I'm there too.
Well, I say pitch, but really, like, it's kind of one of those things where I tell people, and then I'm kind of like, well, this is what we're doing.
You just bring in some Chick-fil-A and go, okay, guys, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I never say it like
Enjoy
that.
the Chick-fil-A.
But, you know, anybody who who knows me, even though I'm asking, sometimes I'm not really asking. I'm saying, like, you know what, we're going to do this.
I love it. I love
Good
it.
for you. Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Well, cool, dude. Well, this has been such an awesome time with you. We got one more question for you. It's our signature question, and
All right.
we'll definitely get you back on soon. So you'll definitely be getting a message from me in your inbox. To read.
Yeah,
All right, whenever
you're gonna
you
get
guys
you're gonna get tired of doing this show. Trust me.
Nah, it's fun. I like it a lot, you know.
Yeah. So our last question for you is the signature question. We call it best gig, worst gig. You answer in any order you like, but you got to answer both. What has Keith got for us tonight?
All right, let's see here. Well, let's start with the best one.
Cool. All right.
And then we'll leave on a low note. So, my favorite gig memory, probably of all time, was a couple years ago's Rocktoberfest. The day before, we had a hurricane come through, and we couldn't have any of the big tents or anything outside because the winds were so strong, the tent companies wouldn't even put them up. And so the whole thing had to be moved inside Casey Jones. So we took what was supposed to be that big tent that you guys remember that goes out front, kind of, you know.
Right.
Yep.
And we had to squeeze all that stuff inside. So the main stage was put on the patio of Casey Jones, okay? And we still had humongous attendance. So it is packed, wall-to-wall people there. So this particular year, the Paul Reed Smith Band was the headlining band. And we, Franklin Square, played before him. It was cool because everybody was kind of real packed in and tight, you know, and there were people literally right up in front of me, and there was no elevated stage because we couldn't fit it in there. And so I finished rocking out. You know, I can't even really remember much of that, but it was fun, and we played, you know, I felt like I played good and everything. And so I'm coming off stage, and Paul Reed Smith is about to go on stage, right? So he looks over at me, and he said, "That was really great. I want you to play a song with us." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you know, I don't know any of your songs."
Wow.
And I'm real weird about, like, practicing and stuff because I never want to look bad, you know.
Oh yeah, I got that complex.
So I'm like, "Well, I don't know any of your songs, but, you know, thanks, maybe next time, whatever."
Right.
And he's like, "Well, no, I'm gonna call you up there and you're gonna play." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I just walk off and laugh, whatever. So I'm kind of standing on the side of the stage watching them, and for anybody who hasn't seen their band, the rhythm section is unbelievable. If Gary Granger is the drummer, or excuse me, Gary Granger is the bass player, and Greg Granger is the drummer, and those guys are so good. They're actually Santana's backing band when he goes on tour.
Oh, wow.
So they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the singer Mia is real. She's spectacular. And Mike Alt is the guitar player, and if you guys kind of follow local guitar, you know, kind of, I don't know if I would say virtuoso, but really, you know, pro player. He's a great guy out of Virginia. But so they're up there playing, and he walks out into the crowd, kind of where I am, and he said, "I told you, I'm going to make you play." And he takes his guitar off and hands it to me.
Oh, no pressure.
And so I go up there, and I never heard this song before in my entire life. It's like funk rock kind of stuff, you know, and it's way different than, like, you know, Van Halen, "You Really Got Me" or something like that. And so I fake my way through it, and as I'm kind of walking back off stage, they hand him his guitar back. He high-fives me as I'm passing his guitar back to him, and somebody got a picture of that, and it was awesome. I got that picture in my office, and I would say that was probably my favorite gig because that was when Rocktoberfest really started to take off. I looked out into the crowd, and kind of all the other business owners that were there supporting me were out there. All the Franklin Square fans were out there, my family, you know, friends, everybody. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's
Everybody you could ever hope to see that moment was there.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I mean, it was totally a cool thing. And
That's great,
worst
man.
gig, God, playing music all these years, I've had an awful lot of them, but one that comes to mind is kind couple years ago, it's probably been maybe 5 years ago now, Franklin Square got asked to play Charles County Fair, and they were redoing things, and they were going to have a big, what they sold to us is a big main stage in the equestrian center where they have all those bleachers and stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And the other stage was going to be on that concrete pad, like in front of those other smaller bleachers where they always have live music. And they said it's going to be a big deal, you know, and we're going to have this new big main stage, and it's going to be really big, and it's going to be 2 big flatbed trailers laid out, and you guys would be under the equestrian center lights, and I'll have the bleachers and all that. We're going to advertise specifically for this, whatever. And so I always thought as a kid, playing the fair was like the thing, you know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
like, it was as close to like Woodstock as you could get in the Plata, right?
Right, okay.
So we had, probably like every band has this, you know, kind of rider and stuff that you expect from the place that you play. And we're kind of specific about our power, you know, because I'm running, you know, 100-watt tube amps and you know, we had good lights and good PA and all that kind of stuff. And so they're like, oh yeah, it's fine, you know, we got plenty of power. And we're like, you sure? He's like, yeah. So fast forward, the day of the event, we go there, and there's like 3 power strips with orange extension cords like stretched out from a barn somewhere. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna work, but what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? So you just go and you play, and on top of that, somehow the time got advertised wrong. So everybody that was there to see us was not there. So there's very few people there. I mean, there's like 2 kids making out in the bleachers up at the top, a couple guys, you know, smoking cigarettes around the front or whatever. But you got to do what you got to do because
Right.
you said you'd play. So we start playing, and I like to be loud. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't hear anyhow, but I'd like to be really loud. So we're out there playing, and when we get through the first set, the sun's kind of starting to go down, and people are kind of starting to show up now. And we're like, all right, well, you know, we can make this work. It's getting better. So we're finally gaining momentum. People are out there. The sun's going down. It's like a nice September night, whatever. So all of a sudden, we start the second set, and we start that. I play a little bit of Eruption, and we go right to You Really Got Me and Van Halen. And all of a sudden, the power dies.
Oh, come on.
I mean, lights out. And the only thing that's still going is we had these lights in front of us, kind of by our feet, that shine up on you, different colors, and they hold a charge. And the only thing that's going are these 3 little lights across the front by the monitors. And I mean nothing else, and it's pitch black out there. Well, of course, everybody starts to disperse.
Yeah.
And an hour later, they get the lights back on, and we had to finish the set. I think we were scheduled to play till 10 o'clock, you know, contracted to play till 10. So we probably played the last hour to nobody out there.
Oh, man.
And that was very Spinal Tap-ish style gig.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it was anything that could go wrong went wrong.
Yep. You played Eruption so hard, you blew the electric out of the whole place.
Nah, I don't know.
And
it
then
was one of those things where you finally get your
you paid for it.
you know, you get like, you know, you're like, man, this is tough. Then all of a sudden, you know, people start to come, everybody's happy, whatever, you know, the mood instantly changes. So all of a sudden, I finish Eruption, and we're like midway through You Really Got Me, and bam, there it goes.
I'm just glad every band goes through a worse gig. That's the whole point of this segment.
And
really.
I appreciate you sharing that with us because, wow,
Yeah.
it's, and I'm not discounting the county, but the county fair, well, you know, it's tough to play. That's a tough gig to begin with. And you lost power.
Yeah, I mean, I could, you know, so one day we could have a whole show about all my different worst gigs in my life, because there's been a lot of them.
I love it. That's cool.
We'll have to do that then. We'll have to do a segment. Hey, this is Keith Grasso's worst gig.
Calling in on another one, yeah.
Yeah, man.
What do you got for us this week?
Well, dude, it was the summer of
Dude, I mean, I played solo classical guitar outside for a wedding before, and it was so hot that every other note, your strings were bending, they were stretching out of tune because the heat was so high. It was basically melting the strings off your classical. And then to try to get through that, yeah, man, I could think of a million.
Wow.
Yeah, we've realized the common theme on this show that since we've been interviewing people for a while is the outdoor gigs are always included in the worst gigs that we've been hearing.
Oh yeah,
Those are the tricky ones.
Yeah.
So, any advice we can give to our listeners, young guys that are coming up with these outdoor gigs, just you're not going to win. Just do it. It's going to be bad.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, just get through it. That's all I always say. You just got to get through it.
Do it and get through it, and it's going to suck. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad.
That's cool. Good Lord. Well, Keith, man, you've been a champ tonight, man. This is by far our longest interview on the show so far.
Yeah, you've got the record.
Yep. So that's an
Well,
awesome
any of
one.
it you guys want to cut out? I know a lot of it's probably rambling and weird stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with what you're asking me. But any of it you want to cut out, I give you complete creative control.
No, man.
It's cool. I've already left this interview once to go to the bathroom, and you didn't even know I was going.
It's insane. That's cool. Hey, man. So seriously, dude, we really appreciate everything you're doing for the community, what you're doing for us on the show.
Absolutely.
Your two biggest fans are right here, man. And,
Thanks for having me, and right back at you guys. And I love what you're doing, promoting music, and like I said before, whatever I can do to help, I'm there.
Yeah. Just having your time this evening was good enough for us. We appreciate that.
Right.
All right, well, cool. Anytime you guys want to hear me ramble on about anything, you call me, and I'll be here.
Okay. Good deal, dude. Good deal.
No problem.
Good deal, man. Yeah, and I'll definitely be emailing you soon, man. I'm going to run some ideas by you, and just, broad ideas, see what you think, see if anything interests you, and then we'll go from there.
All right, cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, dude. Well, from the Southern Maryland Guitar Gurus, we say good night and have a good one, brother.
Good night.
All right, see you guys. Thanks.
All right, man. See ya.
Yep.